Hello, air signs. Welcome to your weekly oracle messages. As always, keep in mind that this is only a general reading. Always take what it feels right and with what does resonate within your own life experiences during this time. If you would like a personal reading with me, please contact me through the email I put in the description box below. For the month of August, I'm offering a special called Tales of the Sun. And this is a reading that was created into two parts, part one being sunrise and part two sunset. They were created as a complement, but they are not exclusive to each other, so you can order just part one or part two and still get quite a lot of info. So if you would like to know more info about those specials or any other of my tarot services, again, just email me, or if you would like to donate and support my channel, you can also do so by following the PayPal link, which is also down below. So air signs, this upcoming week you have as a common theme adventure. And I do feel like some of you are exploring a path that is just in the initial phase, or just something about your current path, an aspect of it. There's this breakthrough, right? This unperceived gap that you're just realizing that there exists. And so some of you are quite tempted to investigate this, to know more about this, to explore, to get yourselves into something that is, I feel like for some of you, unprecedented. It's like going somewhere, doing something, understanding something, discovering something, knowing someone, or an aspect of someone that you have never seen before. So adventure is definitely on the horizon for the majority of you air signs, even though I do feel like for some of you, this adventure and this new discovery or thing you are experiencing, it's not an easy path. So I have to say that whatever you decide to go into, especially this week, be cautious though about what you're getting yourselves into, because I feel like it's not something necessarily that you shouldn't do. That's up to your discernment. But there might be something that about this thing that it's just going to be harder than maybe what you are considering in the moment where you are deciding to do something, because of the beautiful colors and aspects of it that again are enticing you to go there. So some of you during this week, I feel like you should take your time to consider what you're getting yourself into, but also what you're saying, what you're doing, and what you're not doing. Because on the other side, I feel like for others of you, this could be that, yes, adventure is there, a new opportunity is there, a new thing is there, but some of you might not see it. Some of you, this might be an invisible thing as well, and this unknown, this veiled, there's like this veil covering where this entrance is, or where this door could be, especially for air signs looking for better options in terms of career or finances, or something about your routine, your daily life that you would like to change, that you would like to have just a different element added to it. I feel like in particular for those air signs, this might be a message that is significant. Now, I also have to say that some of you air signs, it's like you need to, each step you take counts right now. So it's very important to be as aware and as present in the present moment as possible. And I'm saying this because I feel like some of you are kind of drifting. You're not paying enough attention, or you're not looking carefully and with attention to details. And details count. I feel like that's another thing here, is that details somehow are important for the results of what you are involved in. So Libras in particular, this might be an emotional experience though. And it's interesting because the common energy is an adventure, but for Libras, the whole lineup talks about the past. So the past might be influencing some of you, Libras, significantly. This is a card dream. And some of you might be dreaming wide awake, dreaming with love, dreaming with someone, reminiscing about the past, longing to reconnect or to. I feel like some of you would like to go back to do something or to change something. Not it doesn't necessarily have to be about love and relationships, but I get the impression that some of you Libras are really nostalgic during this week and wishing you could go back. I feel like for some of you, this is not for all of you, but for some of you, there are strong currents taking you towards past memories and past circumstances because some of you have not yet understood why there's a certain attachment to the things you're attached to emotionally. So for some of you, there's like this karmic thing here, this karmic link, relationship, lesson. I feel like some of you are emotionally involved in very complex things here. And it's not something easy for you to be free from, to break away from, but still I feel like you're drifting. It's interesting because it's like you are allowing the deep waters of emotion to take you. And this is one of the cases where I feel like you should fight against the current. In terms of, when I say fight against the current, it's not divine flow. It's exactly the opposite. I feel like some of you Libras should fight harder to leave the mud, to leave the pit, to leave the hole or the emotional currents that sometimes threaten to drown you in your life. Now, for others of you, it could be that there's something about the past that is like it makes this it's something that about the past that suddenly you get clear about, like this sudden realization of something that maybe you haven't yet understood or realized that might change the way you are currently living, just because, or the way you are currently experiencing the things you are experiencing, because now it's like you have this piece of information that was missing. But still, others of you, others of you, I feel like some of you need a lot of work on in terms of liberation, release, and some of you might be very emotional and sensitive as well during this time, very very sentimental. It's not all negative here. I feel like others of you, you're just actually able to reconnect with someone or connect with current relationships in profound ways. Some of you, it's an interesting thing here as well. For some of you, you could have a chance to rewrite the past, to rewrite something about the past that again, you would like to have a second chance of. Now, the thing here is that before accepting something, if this is about Libras accepting, for example, a relationship from the past, or reconciling with someone, or not forgiving, but it's like accepting someone from a past background, even if it's a friend or a family member, where there's this deep feeling for it, but a long history. Just be careful before you do that, in terms of consider if that's something you're really prepared to do and aware of what might entails, because again, it might entail, because adventure and that message that I said in the beginning is a common theme, where if you could be, if you're not careful, repeating cycles as well, or allowing things to happen to you all over again. It's like inviting, in a way, the same emotional patterns that will leave you again in a place of I don't want to say this word, but it's the word that is coming for disaster, emotional disaster. What I mean about that is a sense of course, for Libras that have undergone some sort of suffering or pain in current and past associations, Libras that were hurt or betrayed by their own hearts, and usually we all face, in one way or another, that type of experience. And I feel like some of you, this is not for all of you. Some of you might be in danger of repeating something you don't want to repeat. Now, for others of you, there's the opposite side of that. There's the opposite side where some of you have learned what you needed to learn, and it's like the past is knocking on your door for you to see something or understand something that can change your life, and it can change the future that you walk into. So for Aquarius, you have integration. You have a very similar lineup here of cards and energy as the sign Taurus. So if you're dealing with a Taurus or an Aquarius that has some Taurus elements in your own chart, this could be a significant message as well. So you have integration. I feel like some of you things are getting clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer in terms of, it's like your third eye is completely open and you are seeing beyond sight. I feel like some of you are having amazing experiences, or you could have amazing experiences in terms of visual meditations for Aquarius as well, that stimulate somehow your energy with substances or things like that. This could be a period where you should take caution with that, because there's this intensity of it's like something in your energy here about your third eye and your crown chakra like opening up, and something quite this understanding or just a vision of the future or of a truth that can be mind-blowing for some of you. I feel like some of you, this integration talks about the lower and the higher mind coming together in a state of harmony. For some of you, there's that chance of harmony between lower and higher minds. And what this will give for some of you and gift some of you with is this amazing source of information, amazing source of knowledge. Some of you are just going to know what to do before something happens. You're going to know what something is going to be before it happens. Your sense of your responses, right? Your intuitive responses are sharp. For some of you, there's that sharp thing about just saying the right thing, feeling exactly how things are. Some of you that work a lot with the speech or the mind here, the intellect, you can have, again, moments of intense revelation. For some of you, it's like your consciousness is expanding completely, and that is leading you to a state of harmony and integration with things that maybe were apart, things that you didn't understand, things that were leaving you a little bit broken in the mind, like confused about the purpose of certain things, or the whys and the hows and what to do. I feel like some of you had your mind split, right, in pieces, and there's this chance of something here being mended in a fruitful way. Now, sometimes knowing things ahead of time can have a side to that might not be the most positive one, because then you have to leave with the knowledge, and we cannot take back what we know. So I feel like for some of you that are forcing something, you might get it, but it might come with a price. I also have to say that for some of you Aquarius, some things that you will get come with a price. So you will get your way, but there might be something that you need to leave behind. There might be something, a consequence of some sorts with this accessing of info that some of you are reaching Of course, that there are changes that this is going to, there's things about this that then is going to modify a lot. The way you're living, the way you're doing things, the way things are going, the way you are relating. So the fact that you are growing and expanding might then have effects, well, that are part naturally of some of our spiritual awakenings, but I feel like you should, the only thing here is that you shouldn't rush it or push it beyond your limits. Know your limits and know when to stop. Of course, that not all Aquarius are trying to expand their consciousness, but this could translate into you still having this stream of information, of knowledge, of ideas, of things coming to you. And usually Aquarius do have that a lot, even if unconsciously, rushing through your mind and making you, you know, see things and understand things that lead to both harmony, but also to, it's interesting because it's like in order for you to have peace in a way or reach the harmony in one aspect, you're going to have to create this harmony in another. And I feel, of course, that this harmony that this is going to create is into what's out of your reach, which is others, the outer sphere of your reality, that then will kind of undergo some sort of transformation. For Geminis, you have the aloneness card. Geminis, I do feel like I don't really like the energy that you have here. I feel like some of you could be going through a period or a phase where you're just withdrawing a lot. You're going into this. I'm going to show you the other card here. Nothingness. It's like you're exploring something or going into a direction that is not going to make some of you happy, or it's not going to be the path that some of you really want to go in order to discover what you think you are about to discover. So what I want to say is that some of you will be needing to change the way or the direction you are taking. Some of you that are hermits are trying to be away from everything and everyone. This is only going to somehow make you feel worse, particularly, of course, this week. This is readings that are focused into the now, so it doesn't have to be an energy that echoes into the rest of the weeks. But usually this type of energy is not something that gets fixed and away in one day. So Gemini, you might feel, yes, you might feel lonely. You might feel that you are in the dark about things. You might feel that the path towards connectedness or relationships are away, are gone. I feel like some of you have a very somehow dark perspective of the future, and this, of course, is making you see more of that same darkness. So some of you need to, yes, be by yourself, understand yourself, but create a better state of relationship with the self, because I feel like some of you feel this aloneness even with others. So this is not particularly something that is just for those that don't have anyone or don't have significant relationships in their lives. This is also for Geminis that do have friends, that do have loved ones, but somehow, and you might not even know why, you feel alone, or you feel a lack of support, a lack of love, a lack of embrace that might be consuming you in silence. Some of you are suffering in silence. Some of you are, during this time as well, slowing down, or there's this energy of things pushing you to slow down, to reconsider where you are and the things you're doing, the things you're thinking, especially to yourself. I feel like some of you are causing some sort of self-harm towards your being, and others of you, I feel like this energy of missing something or someone severely. And I feel like this missing. It could be that, and it's interesting because you had the death energy in your mid August tarot messages. So I'm feeling like some of you Geminis could have faced a certain loss. It could be a loss of a closed loved one, a physical loss, death, or it could have been a loss of a relationship or something like that. And but for those that are grieving, I feel like this is not a very new energy. It could be, but I'm feeling like this is more of a past thing, and this like this severe, again, impact of the absence of someone or of something. And so that's why in this grieving stages you need to give yourself time, yes, but you need to surround yourself as well with those that love you, with those that can help you. You can be helped more than you know. I feel like some of you dismiss some of the importance that your closer bonds could have. I feel like you are shutting yourself down in a way or another. Now, of course, that this doesn't have to be this very dark thing. It's just for some of you, I'm feeling that heavy grieving force, and it could be just a temporary break, pulling you down to that stage of mourning from past things. And of course, that I feel like others of you, this is also about uh, just feeling like you're in this journey, right? That it's like this long desert, and it's dry, and it's tiring, and it's lonely, and you're tired of it. And this week, it could be just more tired than usual of that journey in the desert. And of course, that this is a metaphor for something in your life, Gemini, that feels that way. So I hope you have a great week ahead. Thank you so much for all of you that have been liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, and donating to my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hopefully, we'll see each other soon.